Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Okay, we're back here on Louis Live. And folks, most of the time on Louis Live on this program on IsraelSportsRadio.com, we speak mostly about sports. But there was, I don't know if event is the right word, basically a cause that came across my direction that I thought was so important. I wanted to discuss it, even though it's not sports related. And on the line right now, the person in charge of fighting for this cause, one of the main people, Sara Chana Mandell. Sarah, welcome to Louis Live on Israel Sports Radio.
Thanks.
So tell us about the cause. As I mentioned, it is a big deal that's going to happen Thursday night. Is the quote cause event, if you will. Tell us the background behind it.
Okay, well, it started about a year ago in April of 2012. There was an assassination attempt in Lebanon of a pro-Israel activist who is a Lebanese who supports normalized relationship with Israel. And so Hezbollah attempted to assassinate him while he was driving. They shot 6 bullets very close to the driver's seat. He was able to leave the country immediately after that, which is very lucky because otherwise they would have closed his passport and refused him to leave, and probably he would have ended up being assassinated. But he escaped to to Sweden, and he applied for political asylum. And that's when I got in touch with him. He contacted me because I'm an admin in an Israel friendship group for Israel and Lebanon on Facebook. And so we started talking, and over the last year, I've come to be very good friends with him. And he unfortunately wasn't able to work for the entire year that he waited for his asylum. So that's why we decided to try to bring him here now that he's got his asylum status in Sweden and a Swedish passport. So we tried to raise some funds to bring him to Israel so he can see the country that he advocated for peace with and was almost killed for.
Now, tell us a bit about this gentleman's background. He is not Jewish, correct?
No, he's not Jewish. His father was halakhically Jewish. His father was the child of a woman whose parents came from Iraq. They were Jewish immigrants from Iraq to Lebanon, and he didn't really understand what that meant. He knew he had some Jewish heritage, but when he explained who it was in his family, we said, oh, well, that means your father was Jewish. His father was raised very secular, and he was an academic in Lebanon. He published 25 books. He might be kind of considered like the Noam Chomsky of Lebanon. He had a lot to say, social commentary and political analysts. One of his most famous books was The Crisis of the Islamic Mind. He was very much against extreme Islamic fundamentalism, and he advocated for a lot of secular policies in Lebanon. And unfortunately, either Hezbollah or pro-Syrian activists murdered his father in 1992 when he was just a young boy. I think he was only 8 years old then. And so he kind of followed in his father's footsteps as he grew up, and that's how he got involved with social commentary and being a journalist in Lebanon.
Wow, all right. So he was following his father's footsteps, but generally it is not of the norm to be non-Jewish and support Israel in that part of the world, correct?
That is correct, but there are a few people that do go against the tide, and I think he was just one of those people. He didn't really understand that his father was halakhically Jewish because in Lebanon he was considered Shia, since his father's father was a Shia. And when his father died, I think it made him closer to his grandparents, and he wanted to get more in touch with his father's heritage. And that's one of the things that he wants to do when he comes to Israel, is to discover his Jewish heritage and to look into conversion programs so that he can formally rejoin the Jewish people.
Now, with stories like these, is there hope that in that part of the region they could be more sensitive to Israel's plight, be more against terrorism, these type of things? Are we looking to something bright in the future, or was this an exception against the rule?
I think that if we support academics and social commentators who advocate for these kind of things in Arabic, we have a chance of one day, not in the near future, but eventually having possibly a majority of a population more sympathetic to us, or at least understanding our point of view. But unfortunately, the state and a lot of Jewish organizations don't really reach out to the allies that we do have in the Islamic world. And there are bloggers and journalists who do advocate for normal relations with Israel and who are sympathetic to the Jewish right to be a part of the Middle East. But unfortunately, they are under threat in their native countries, and they get very little acknowledgement or support from Jewish organizations or from the Israeli government.
Now, you talked about the fact that he was in danger of being killed himself. As far as his friends, family, have they disowned him? Obviously, his father is not alive, but his other family members, have they disowned him based on his actions, Mustafa's actions at this point?
Absolutely not. His mother actually comes from Abkhazia, and there is somewhat of a chance they have Jewish heritage themselves. And his sisters are everyone in his family was raised basically to be respectful of people, and none of them are anti-Israel, and they're all proud of him and the work he's done. Unfortunately, they're still in Lebanon, so hopefully they'll be getting out of Lebanon soon, and then he can be more public and hopefully get involved in Israel and media.
Okay. Now, you talked about conversion processes that he's potentially looking into. Do you know specifically the details on that? Is he looking for an Orthodox conversion? If so, do you know Sephardi, Ashkenaz, these type of things? What are his plans at this point?
Well, of course, it will be something Orthodox because he wants to formally rejoin the Jewish people. And I guess he'll look into some French program since he speaks French fluently. He speaks English very well, but his French is better than his English. And so I guess we'll look around Jerusalem and look for French programs.
Okay, so he is looking for French programs, and that would be his method of conversion. Does he know where in Israel he wants to live at this point? Because I imagine, we think it's hard to move to Israel when we come from the United States or other countries, but there is other people that are similar to us. There's other Jews of American descent or Canadian descent or so on. It's not going to be so easy for Mustafa to find Jews of Lebanese descent, although they're out there. So is there a particular community he's interested in going to or a particular part of the country?
Well, he wants to come and see the entire part of the country. We have plans, of course, to go to Yad Vashem, the Museum of the Diaspora in Tel Aviv, the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, and really to explore the whole country. He's very excited to find out about Jewish history, and I can't really imagine. Every place in Israel is great, so I can't really think that someone would pick one place over another. People do, but I don't feel that way. So I guess when he comes, he'll make up his mind about where he likes. But it's very similar to Lebanon, the lifestyle, the standard of living, and the climate and the food. So I don't think that he would have such a difficult time, or his family would have such a difficult time blending in here, because the society, minus the extreme Islamic aspect, the society is very similar. It's a modern, middle class, European style of living in Israel. So the party that we're planning is actually at a friend's house who has parties often. It's also kind of a bar and a art gallery. It's in the center of Jerusalem, really close to City Hall or Kikar Tzion, and it's a really great place. And we'll have a bar. Some of the proceeds will go to help raise money to buy the ticket for Mostafa, and it will just be a great night to have fun with friends and to meet people that are also interested in building bridges between pro-Israeli people in the region. There are pro-Israeli people that are Kurds, that are Assyrians, that are minorities within the Middle East. People kind of forget that we're not the only minority in the region, and a lot of them sympathize with us because they're also minorities, and they feel oppressed, and they understand the desire to have sovereignty and independence. So if people are interested in that, or getting to know other people that are interested in that aspect of peace, building bridges between the different minorities in the region, they should definitely come and get to know other interesting people, and in so raising some money to do a great thing.
All right, now the event is tomorrow. It is
No, on Thursday.
Thursday, apologize. It'll be Thursday. The address is 13 Shimon ben Shetach. Can you give directions to persons, let's say, in King George Ben Yehuda? Where do they go from there?
They go down, I guess, down Yafo to, hold on 1 second. I'm really bad with.
Okay, people can Google it.
I'll post a map on the event page.
Okay.
If people go to Gallery Bite, B-E-I-T, on Facebook, if you just search Gallery Bite, it will be the first one that comes up, and I'll post a map of with directions to how to get to the event. It's really close to the center of town. I don't know if you can hear all of the buses go by. It's quite a noisy central area.
So it is in town, and 13 Shimon ben Shetach. What is the name of the Facebook group so people can jump up there and comment and read the comments as well?
The page is Gallery Bite. It's Gallery and then B-E-I-T. And if you look on that Facebook page, the event is the first thing for this house on the page.
Okay, and also, if people are not attending the event, is there a way that they could still donate or help out with this cause?
Well, I'm the Israeli director for the Mostafa Geha Freedom Center, which is a nonprofit that Mostafa has started, and people can go directly to that Facebook group page and get details about how to donate, or if they just want to help specifically donating to funds to help pay for his ticket, they can donate it to my PayPal account, which is ilivinpalloalto@gmail.com. And that's my PayPal account, and all the funds that I'm receiving I'll put towards buying a ticket from Sweden to Tel Aviv for him. But I would also recommend looking into his organization. It's a really great way to connect all the different minority groups through the region and support people like him who live in the region, who have more pro-Israeli perspectives, that would like to have a easier time expressing themselves and maybe live in areas where it's difficult.
And people of all ages can contribute. I see that Larry Kinsberg is one of the guest attendants. He's in his late 60s, so people of all ages can participate, correct?
We're expecting a very wide range of also secular, religious, young, and a bit older. So we're expecting a lot of different types of people, but with the same interests.
All right, so everyone out there, no excuses. If old man Larry Kinsberg can come in his late 60s and in crutches, then anyone out there should be able to make it. 13 Shimon ben Shetach. You can Google that. that is in Jerusalem in town. Sara, great cause. Thank you so much for being on Louis Live in Israel Sports Radio, continuing mitzvot. And again, Thursday night, everybody should go and contribute and be a part of this process. So, Sara, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And for those of you just joining this interview right now, this interview will be up on YouTube on Israel Sports Radio's channel in approximately 2 to 3 hours, so you can listen to the interview in its entirety. Sara, thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.